The following show is a Pod Avenue production. You are cordially invited to have dinner with the King. Pull up a chair and join WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler and Glenn Moore. Enjoy.
Welcome to Dinner with the King. I am Glenn Moore, joined here by WWE Hall of Famer, a man that you will see on Monday night, this coming Monday night, from either the Manhattan Center. It's been announced.
I'm almost certain the Manhattan Center, yes.
Jerry the King Lawler. Now,
oh, Glenn, I'm so happy to be back on again, and especially today should be an extraordinary podcast because we got a lot of things to talk to, and hopefully we have somebody special to talk to over the phone today, right?
Yeah. Now, you warned me.
What?
When we get guests on the show, now we don't get guests every week.
No, we don't.
We get notable guests relevant to our topic that we're talking about that week. We have Bret Hart, Cody Rhodes, Jimmy Hart. We've had a whole slew of guests on the show. Terry Funk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we talked about Terry Funk a couple of weeks ago.
Jim Cornette.
The list is very short, but it's a notable list.
Right.
And when we have a guest on, you tell me, now, Glenn, you can't mark out. You can't be a fan. You can't ask these stupid questions, because
you can't do impersonations.
Can't do impersonations while they're on the line. Now, listen. I've interviewed plenty of celebrities throughout my day, so I'm not a fanboy, but I'm really happy and excited to have the voice of my childhood, basically in the same room. We're going to have good old JR, Jim Ross, joining us on the podcast this week.
Hopefully now.
Well, he's been retweeting.
I know, but
promotion.
That's one of the things I'm leery about having guests. Anything could happen, but hopefully JR is definitely going to call it. Not definitely, but JR is going to call in the hotline. You're sitting there, see the little red phone. It looks like the bat phone. The hotline is waiting for us to receive a call from good old JR, and we got a lot of stuff to talk to him about.
This is our first podcast recording from the King's Castle here in Memphis, Tennessee. We did a live show from your barbecue restaurant out on Germantown Parkway, which I've been there a few times during my 2-week stay here in Memphis, Tennessee. And I've been down to the bar on Beale Street.
Thanks to our wonderful weather, Glenn has become almost a permanent resident here in Memphis. 2 of his trips back to Cleveland have been canceled because of our snow and ice that we've had. We never get snow or ice down here in Memphis. I mean, we'll get like one little dusting a year or something like that. But, last week we had almost the ice and snow storm, and you guys couldn't get out. And then again last night we get about like 3 inches of snow here, and you couldn't get out again this morning, right?
The whole city shuts down. And to me, being a
this
Clevelander,
is Memphis.
Being a Clevelander, this is nothing. I mean, I'm driving 70 miles an hour on the freeway in this stuff, and you
That's
guys
true.
are going 5 miles an hour through just a dusting of snow.
Yeah, I literally, Lauren and I went to the bank this morning, and we just went out on Walnut Grove, and at the first intersection we came to, there were 2 accidents. One girl had slid across the red light and boom, head on into a light pole, and then 2 guys had just one guy rear-ended the other sitting at the red light. So I don't know what it is about people in the South. We can't drive in this.
No, you guys freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah, people go.
The school's closed. The school's closed
immediately.
2
days before.
Right. Just at the forecast of snow, schools are closed.
People getting out their milk and bread. Going to get milk and bread sandwiches.
The Krogers and the grocery stores are just completely emptied.
Why is it when people go out, they got to get milk and bread? We can make milk sandwiches?
I don't know. I don't get milk and bread when I try to stock up.
What
for
do
the
you
big
get
store.
when you going to stock up?
Oh, Diet Cokes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just kind of munchy stuff.
Yeah. The King's eating habits.
Well, right now I'm on my no carb diet or low carb diet. It's impossible for me to do the no carb anymore, but I do the low carb diet right now. So then that's basically anything meat and nothing sweet, nothing good. Ugh. For lunch today, I had a piece of dry hamburger steak, cabbage, and turnip greens.
Well, Lauren's a great cook.
Lauren is a great cook.
We had some hamburger soup.
She made some low carb hamburger soup that was just awesome, and I polished all the rest of it. You ate a huge bowl one day, and I did too. And then the next day, I polished it off. It's gone.
Well, I'm on a seafood diet.
I know that. You seafood, you eat it.
That's my diet. That's my diet.
Oh my god!
But the reason why for this episode is going to be about Raw 25, the Attitude Era, because you are going to be at Raw on Monday. You and JR teaming back up the commentary table. But first, let's talk about little trip here. Memphis, came down here on New Year's.
Yep.
We celebrated New Year's together at your bar and grill.
Wait a minute! Don't make it sound like we're that tight. Okay, we did. You're right.
Yeah.
And
it's not like I came to speak. Oh, King's here. Oh, hey, King.
And it was so unusual in the fact that, we may have talked about this a little bit, but Lauren works with a good friend of hers that owns a modeling agency, and they had actually an appearance at a big, huge private party in Nashville that Lauren had to go and actually work at. Mm-hmm. So that was the first time since she and I have been together that we weren't together. On New Year's Eve and at midnight to get that New Year's kiss.
I know, and you were begging me to kiss you.
Oh, please!
And I was like, Jerry, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I'm going to find myself a female to kiss.
And you did, didn't you?
I did.
We were down at the club. The club was packed. It was great.
I don't want to talk about my love life.
There's still a lot of Iowa State fans in town from the Liberty Bowl and you. But the girl that you kissed was not from Iowa State. She was from right here in Memphis.
Right.
Good old Southern girl.
So then Lauren was blowing my phone up because she has an Apple phone, so I have an Apple phone, so she wanted to FaceTime. You are stuck with the old Android.
Yeah.
So she couldn't video chat with you. So she wanted to give you a kiss virtually through the powers of the internet.
Yes, we had to have a virtual New Year's kiss, which was not as much fun as it should have been. And I was not able to even seek out a what do you call it? Kind of kiss. I don't know, an obligatory kiss from some of the fans, because Lauren's brother and her sister-in-law were there at our table.
And plus, you didn't want to because you have Lauren with, right?
Of course, yeah, right.
Come on, not because her Lauren's brother, and fiance are there. King, you gotta. So you had a virtual kiss with Lauren.
Yes.
But
Happy New Year.
So then we recorded our live show. All the hardcore fans came out to King Jerry Lawler's Memphis Barbecue Company out in Memphis. We had some barbecue. Did a long show. The 2-part episode is online. You guys listen to that show if you haven't listened to already.
And there's some good feedback. People enjoyed that show.
Oh, yeah. They loved it, yeah. And then the weekend, you had wrestling weekend up here in Memphis. Memphis Hustle game, the Memphis Grizzlies game, and then, of course, Raw was here in Memphis that following Monday. And you had a match against Johnny Swinger.
Johnny Swinger.
At the Memphis Hustle game. And
he hurt my shoulder.
For real?
After the match, yeah.
We took the belt away.
Yeah, he's
stole
the belt.
With the help of a masked man.
Stole the Grizzlies championship belt. Yeah, who was that masked man?
Who was that big masked man that was... Well, first of all, the masked man came during the match.
And it distracted me.
Well, did he just... No, well, you were distracted because you were gloating about your drop kick. And then the masked man tossed I think it was a Jenga wood block, and Swinger hit you. And was going to pin you 1, 2, 3. Then you reversed, 1, 2, 3, you win. So that masked man, he ran out of the building quick.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And just from the glimpse I got of him, it's a good thing he was wearing a mask.
So
perfect disguise.
What would you do if that masked man was in front of you right now?
Oh, I'd pick him up and drop him on his head.
I don't think you could, though.
His big fat head.
I don't think you could.
What? What do you mean?
You couldn't pile drive that guy.
No, probably not.
Maybe he'll make an appearance at other show. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
And then you wrestled Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, because
at the Memphis Grizzlies game.
Yeah, it wound up. I mean, I was supposed to wrestle somebody there, but then after the night before I got my shoulder hurt, they said probably be better if you don't wrestle. So I went there just to basically sign some autographs and that sort of thing. Dave Brown was there, Jerry Calhoun was there, and of course Jeff Jarrett and different guys. And I thought Jeff was going to wrestle. I didn't know who he was going to wrestle. I thought he was going to wrestle the Swinger, Johnny Swinger.
Yeah, Johnny Swinger.
And then Jeff runs this guy's head into the metal gate backstage, and so he was unable to wrestle. And then, Jeff and I thought we were on the same page. I thought we were good buddies. And I thought he was going to hand the belt back to me because it was, stolen by the guy the night before. And instead, Jeff says, nope, I'm going to take this belt back to the best city in Tennessee, and that ain't Memphis. That's Nashville. Selmer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, not Selmer. But anyway, no, he was going to take the belt back to Nashville.
Yeah.
So then that's when I Dave Brown was, of course, the commissioner for the night. So I stood up and I said, Dave, can't let this happen.
No.
Not here in the Grizzlies, big sold-out game and everything. So wrestling night's big every year for the Grizzlies. And so I said, I don't have my gear. I got a hurt shoulder, but I'm still gonna wrestle this guy. And we did. We wrestled.
Yeah, good old-fashioned match.
Yeah. I thought I had him beat until Jerry Calhoun and I had a little collision. And while my back was turned, somebody surreptitiously got a hold of a guitar and hit me in the back and on my shoulder, and Jeff Jarrett got the win.
Now, I saw a lot of Calhoun this weekend. Well, the past weekend.
Yeah.
You know, he was a guest on Jerry Lawler's classic Memphis wrestling show.
Oh, yes.
And I was able, since I'm here in Memphis, able to watch it live in the studio, but also on TV. It was great. But Calhoun he misses a lot when he's a referee. He missed the Memphis Hustle, the guy throwing the block.
He's a referee. What do you think?
But like, he's supposed to be on your side.
Well, here's the deal. Wrestlers become very adept at doing things, out of the referee's line of sight.
Yeah.
Did you watch Raw last night on Monday night?
Yeah.
Man, it happened several times.
Yeah, main event. It was.
Yeah. And the referee, I've refereed matches before. I've been special referee. I started out, early in my career, I'd referee some matches, but it's not easy and it's not fun. So my hat's off to Jerry. My crown's off to Jerry Calhoun. He does a great job. And that's what happened. But anyway, at the end of the night, all of a sudden, Super Grizz showed up, the Grizzlies mascot, this guy is an unbelievable athlete. And then he and none other than hometown favorite, I didn't even know he was in the building, D'Angelo Williams, ex-Pittsburgh Steeler and Carolina Panther player and University of Memphis standout. He showed up, and, he's had a little wrestling experience. Yeah. And what was that thing he did? What was that, Samoan drop he did on Jeff Jarrett?
Yeah, Samoa drop, yeah.
Yeah, so some kind of way, then at the end of the night, the Super Grizz handed me the Grizzly Weight Championship belt back.
So are you the champion?
So all is right with the world.
But are you the champion or is Super Grizz the champion?
No, I'm the champion because the belt was stolen to begin with.
Right.
There was never a real match for the belt.
But there was. Jarrett won.
That wasn't really for the belt. Jerry Jarrett never had the belt.
Jeff Jarrett.
You
can't be wrestling Jerry. I don't think you would have to have any problem wrestling Jerry.
Right.
And then Raw came here on Monday.
Yes.
And that was fun. I know you're a celebrity king, and people are used to taking pictures of you when you're out and about, or saying Jerry Lawler, Jerry Lawler. when they see you at the restaurant, I've seen a lot of that last 2 weeks. But I got to my seat, which was second row. Thank you for that seat.
You're welcome.
Second row, right ringside, and I had about 5 photos of my people tweeting out photos. Oh, look, it's Glenn Moore.
They did not.
I
say,
swear,
oh, look,
I will
Glenn
show
Moore.
you.
I saw some pictures that you were like photobombing other people's pictures.
I had.
They were having their picture made. There you were in the back lurking like a.
Well, there was a video spot of the family that won seats, upgrade seats, and they're sitting right in front of me, and they were doing a video shot like, "Oh, congratulations!" And then my big old mug waving.
Right, you photobombed these people.
I had to. That's what you do, right?
Okay, is JR called yet? Nope.
No,
phone
not
is
yet.
still silent.
Raw 25. Or how excited are you?
We're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, I need to talk about a couple of things that I'm going to be doing this week. A lot of people listen to this podcast all over the country.
Oh, definitely.
Saturday night, before we get to Raw 25, Saturday night I'm going to be in Chicago. Actually, Geneva, Illinois. They have a minor league hockey team there called the Chicago Steel. Mm-hmm. And it's Stone Cold Steel night.
What?
Yes, man. It's a whole night at the Chicago Steel game. Just basically all centered around wrestling. And I'm going to be there. And if you get there at 6:00 and do have a VIP ticket, we're going to do a meet and greet. We're going to have a Q&A session with the VIP ticket holders and signing autographs. And then there's just going to be all sorts of wrestling themed things going on all night long there at the Chicago Steel game. Of course, I got to drop the puck to start the game. That always is exciting too. But it's going to be a big night. That's this coming Saturday night, Geneva, Illinois, Chicago Steel game.
Now, were you on the radio station up in Chicago?
Oh my gosh! You know what's so funny? The Chicago Steel people send me an email and they say, "Hey, we got a radio interview lined up if you can, to promote the appearance." So I look at it, and it's with Mancow.
Yeah.
Now, if you're familiar with Mancow,
Yes,
a lot
I
of
am. I
people
know about him,
people
yeah.
know about the guy. He's like one of the top DJs in Chicago, and he's what you would consider a shock jock.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he tries to.
A Howard Stern wannabe.
Well, you know what? I don't know. I mean, yeah, he probably doesn't have the ratings Howard Stern
Howard
does.
Stern. No, come on, nobody. Yeah, Howard. Anybody who wants to be a shock jock wants to be like Howard Stern. So.
Yeah, you're right. So anyway, I see it's with Mancow, but now honestly, he even said during the interview, you and I've been interviewing you for 20 years, and it has been a long time ago. I remember back when I think he maybe. Yeah, at least 20 years ago, he had me on his radio show from time to time there in Chicago and talking about Andy Kaufman and talking about all sorts of things, So, but anyway, this morning, I don't know, he was in a rare mood or something. I don't know. But anyway, the interview went south right from the get-go. He started talking about he had some guy on there. He started talking about the size. The guy says, hey, King, what's the size of your weenie? How big is your weenie? We heard Hulk Hogan has a python, and I'm going, what? What does that have to do with the Chicago Steel game? And the only thing he said about the Chicago Steel game was very derogatory. And then he says, what's your favorite sexual position?
Oh,
and he said, just all of these stupid off the wall things, that had made no sense. And finally, after about 15 minutes on there.
jeez.
Yeah, he just kept on, and he's got like this cast of characters around him, and they all ask us some kind of stupid question, and so finally at the end he says, "Well, King, what'd you think of this interview? How'd you like this interview? How would you rate it?" And I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, and he said, yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10. I said about a 3.
Ooh, that's not good.
No, it wasn't good. It was not a good interview. And then afterwards, I spoke to the Chicago Steel people. They weren't happy either.
Yeah, no promotion for what they want to promote.
No, the guy was just on there, just acting like an idiot.
Yeah, I don't know why people care, will listen to that kind of stuff.
No. And then he started talking about the amount of Twitter followers, and I looked up, and he was talking about tweets and things like that. Yeah, and all of a sudden he says he had some guy call in and says, "Hey, Jerry Lawler." And I go, "Yeah."
Oh, so you took questions from?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
geez.
not really. They were just the people that worked for him.
Oh, okay.
Guy says, "Do you remember a girl named Amy Dietrich?" I said, "No, I don't know Amy Dietrich." He said, "You don't remember Amy Dietrich about 7 years ago?" And I said, "No." And of course, I know where this is going. He said, "Well, that was my wife, and you had sex with her, and I'd like to come down to that Chicago Steel game and hit you right in your fat head." I said, "Okay." And it was stuff like that, that was the interview.
We are in the year 2018, and shock jocks are still a thing, huh?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, Howard Stern especially still.
Okay, well, Howard Stern's Howard Stern.
Yeah.
But I'm saying people want to be like Howard Stern. People
Right.
still listen to that.
Yeah, the shock jock thing is, to me, like 15 minutes ago or something.
So basically, in the end, the promotion for what you're going to do really didn't get hammered home.
It didn't get hammered home. So that's why I'm mentioning it here tonight.
Yeah.
Because it should be a fun night up there, I'm flying all the way to Chicago. Hopefully the weather will be better than it has been here in Memphis the last few days.
Well, like I said, I travel with you over the course of these 2 weeks for shows and whatnot, and people love you, man. It's nice to go to these little indie shows, and people sell out the gyms to come see you and get autographs and hang out with you a little bit.
Yeah, and that's part of the thing. That's part of the reason I still do that, and that's part of the the reason I love that kind of it's like the way the business was when I first started.
Yeah.
It wasn't these huge, massive crowds and all that sort of stuff. It was, it was going to a Jonesboro, Arkansas on a Saturday night and wrestling in an American Legion arena, or same thing up in Dyersburg, Tennessee, or down in Tupelo, Mississippi, in a renovated warehouse and that sort of stuff. Of course, there were the Mid-South Coliseums and the Louisville Gardens and Evansville Coliseums. Those were the big events, but the majority of the shows you did were intimate, up close, small crowds, and you got to really, I don't know, there was like a real relationship with the fans. They came week after week. You got to know them and that sort of thing, and that's what's still fun. Where did we go? With Selmer, Tennessee?
Yeah, Selmer, Tennessee. Yeah.
We had
fun. Had my first piece of fried catfish. Ever here?
Yeah, what was the name of that place we ate at?
Top of the
lake.
Top of the lake. Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, that was really good. Good old catfish.
And the hush puppies were awesome.
Very, very good. Very good. King, really quick. I know you're going to be in Cleveland February 8th, and I know I have a lot of people, Cleveland fans, people listen to me. You're going to be in Kent Stage for a comedy festival February 8th. I think it's a Thursday.
This is a first for me.
So are you going to be doing comedy?
Apparently.
You can do stand-up?
Apparently.
You?
Yeah.
You can't just do one-liners, King. You're going to have to tell some stories.
With a funny ending, a funny ending to it?
Yeah, so King is going to be doing some comedy. So all the people who listen from Cleveland, get your tickets. It's at the Kent Stage.
Yeah.
Little town. About half an hour south of Cleveland.
Now that's where Kent State University is.
Yeah, Kent State University.
Yeah,
so little Kent
university.
Stage. You have, I think Jimmy Hart's going to be there.
Yes.
And the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, is going to be there as well.
What a dynamic comedy trio.
Jesus, this is going to be amazing.
Can't you just imagine right now the funny stories that are just going to pour out of the mouths of the three of us?
Oh, boy. It's going to be great. So, yeah, I'm mentioning this now because I know a lot of people listen in Cleveland. So get your tickets for that event. It's at the Kent Stage. Jerry Lawler doing comedy. I'll be there for sure. It's gonna be. I would be booing you.
Don't heckle me. I got some good lines. I got heckler lines.
I got some tomatoes. I got some lettuce to throw at you. I'm all ready to go for that evening. Oh, is that the phone? The hotline.
Here we go. Hopefully this is him. JR, is that you?
You accept a collect call from Jim Ross in Oklahoma.
Oh, I didn't know. You know what? It's so funny. Are there still such a thing as collect calls?
I don't know. I was reaching for money.
Well, 10-10-220 was a big sponsor for Raw back in the day. You guys did a lot of spots for those during Raw back when collect calls were the thing.
Oh, wow. Well, anyway, it is good old JR, Jim Ross, our special guest today on the podcast. And JR, how you doing?
I'm good. Probably like a lot of folks, I'm enduring exceptionally cold weather, but other than that, my heat's working good, and I'm in the house.
Perfect. Well, same thing here in Memphis. My buddy Glenn Moore here, who is the co-host on the podcast, is down from Cleveland, and it's a little different. I mean, he's used to the cold, and he's used to snow and everything. And last night in Memphis, we got about 3 inches of snow, and the whole city is shut down. I mean, it's just like you would think you were in Alaska or something like that. And, of course, Glenn, he sent me a text earlier and said, I can't believe it. The whole city shut down on 1 inch of snow. And it's just you're not used to that, are you, Glenn?
No, not at all. It's it's been a crazy 2 weeks here in Memphis, living in the South and living with people that are not used to the ice and snow. But it's been a really cultural shock for me.
Yeah, welcome to the South. Welcome to the South.
Exactly. Well, JR, listen, I guess the talk of the wrestling world right now is Raw's 25th anniversary is coming up this coming Monday. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm absolutely excited. It's going to be fun. Once you get past TSA and you make your connections on time, for me anyway, everything else is kind of downhill. So I'm looking forward to it, Jerry. I think, we get to see a lot of – apparently you and I are going to work together at the what building is it?
The Manhattan Center.
Manhattan Center.
Yeah, that's where it all started.
That would be JR so down to old and senile he's going to the wrong building. But no, the Manhattan Center's the atmosphere there is going to be amazing. I think that thing sold out in like a minute or something crazy.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I've been asked a million times what we're going to do, and you may know I don't have a clue, and I'm not worried about it. I just want to go play. I want to get in the game. That's
exactly. I have not even talked to anyone other than the fact that they called me and said we need you to be there, and then of course the WWE. Network and WWE.com has posted all over the place that you and I are going to be calling matches there at the Manhattan Center. And what a list of names that are going to be coming back for this thing. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to be there in person. The Undertaker, DX, my goodness, the Dudley brothers and Dudley boys. Ric Flair's going to be there. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. It's going to be crazy.
Yes, it's going to be loaded, no doubt about it. I wrote a blog about it today on my website about some things, and one of the things I addressed was the fact that it's amazing to me that so many fans, they see this amazing array of talent that the WWE's flying back in and putting up, and the T&E and all that good stuff for probably some cameos, a lot of by and large.
Right.
But still, some people are not satisfied. They haven't heard the name they want to hear. They don't understand. I saw something this morning where they were upset because Ed Ferrara and Vince Russo were not invited.
What?
I don't know if they're invited or not. How the hell would I know if they're invited? Why would I care?
Right, exactly.
And other guys, well, how come Hulk Hogan's? Hey, maybe Hulk Hogan's going to be a surprise. How do we know that? So my deal is, I know who I'm working with. I kind of got an idea where I'm going to be sitting, and without sounding so egocentric, past that, I don't give a damn. I'm happy.
You're right.
And I'm not overthinking, right? I mean, that's like going to the Rose Bowl here a while back. I didn't like the outcome, but damn, I had a good time at the event,
Exactly. And I can't tell you, I'm sure you know, how many times fans have mentioned it on Twitter and other social media things, how they're looking forward to the reuniting of you and I. This is going to be actually the first time that we've done any commentary together, other than we did some stuff for a video game, right?
Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah,
we did.
But actually,
some of the most fun work that we got to do that was outside the Monday Night Raw envelope, and I remember us doing it. I think we were in Philadelphia. A lot of big things happen in Philadelphia, it seems like, but we did the voiceovers for like Hogan as a heel, we just Bob Backlund as a babyface from the Spectrum or somewhere in that neck of the woods. And I had a lot of fun because it was old school wrestling, and we didn't have a lot of distraction, and we're just able to have fun and call the match and get the talent over. And that's kind of what may be my motto or my mantra, Jerry, on Monday. Let's just go have fun and kick some ass and enjoy it. That's,
exactly.
Hey, our stage of life. How the hell do we know we're going to be back in the next anniversary? I don't know. But
right.
I'd rather do it this time for sure and get it done is to say, well, I wish I'd have done that.
Well, we talked about on the podcast earlier when we bring you up, JR, is a network show with you and the King, you guys doing commentary over old matches, old school wrestling with your commentary and the King's commentary, not of the new generation commentary, but back in the Attitude Era where you guys didn't have really a filter. I thought that would be a great network show with you and the King doing commentary over old school matches and having that old school feel of the Attitude Era feel of the commentary.
Well, if we don't, that's nice. What was that, Jerry?
That's my phone. You know that's my ringtone on my phone. Beatles, oh darling. Let me turn that off while we're doing the podcast. Sorry.
That's all right.
His podcast etiquette is not very good, JR.
No, I don't guess. I thought I recognized that ringtone.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the past in my life. After this, Glenn, if Jerry and I don't do the bed, they may have an idea like that after this Monday night. My issue is just getting to New York in one piece and doing a show that people are going to enjoy listening to, and to see if we still have it. I say that with my tongue in cheek. As long as Jerry's can put sentences together, he can make me look good. So I'm good with that.
Well, I mean, you're not. It's not like the King. It's been how long? A year and a half since you've been on the commentary table, King.
Well, on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably like that.
But JR has been doing New Japan Pro Wrestling and doing that. So his game will be there. King will you?
I don't know. I never had any. I never thought about having game. It's like JR said. All through my entire career working with JR, it was so easy because JR was always so prepared and so professional as far as the job went that all I had to do was literally show up. I could walk in without knowing who's going to wrestle who, what's going to be on the show, and sit down. And it always came across like two good friends sitting in their den on a sofa watching a wrestling show and talking to each other about it. That's the way.
One of them getting real loud.
Yeah.
The other one liking the female side of the demographic.
Yeah.
A lot.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we had look, Glenn. I saw a nice thing. I retweeted. I think Jerry saw it too. That Paul Levesque did an interview with Sports Illustrated or somebody about what made Jerry and me work. It's really simple. We had chemistry.
Right. And
we didn't intend to have chemistry. We didn't set out in our life's journey to have mutual chemistry. That's what we did. We were pros. And when he and I got together, it made my life really, really easy because I said this before, and I'm not going to kiss his ass because it's his podcast, but he is paying me an amazing appearance fee for the show, but
Yes.
it's so amazing I don't even want to talk about it. But in any event, he made it. I felt like I can't screw this up. He was that good, and I always still believe, we'll say it in public, if you will, that he was the star of the team, and I just was able to, the point guard, to give him a damn ball, and I didn't score. That's kind of how I looked at it, and it's just a simplistic way of doing it, but you got to trust your partner, and you've got to also not try to be one-up your partner on every sentence. Well, you said something outrageous. Well, listen to this.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, I don't think either one of us ever thought in that, any way in that direction at all. It was never one of us trying to outdo the other ever. That thought never crossed my mind.
I had some when Jerry was on the sabbatical, early 2000s, whatever that was, and I worked with Paul Heyman. Now, he legitimately pissed me off sometimes. Really did, but that was nothing unusual.
Right.
I expected it. Pissed me off when I got my DUI in Atlanta, and he drove me around for 6 months. I worked with him in WCW because the booking team didn't want to work with him.
Oh.
I saw talent. I ain't got to like the guy. Ironically, I did like him, and I do like him. But the point is that you know where you're going to get. And when Jerry was so predictable, he was so good that I didn't ever get surprised in a negative way. And we had some, I was listening today to somebody sent me a thing on the magical moments of Raw. My God, what they believe in WWE to be the significant calls or audio from Raw featured Jerry and me in almost every clip.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we hadn't been. Look, I don't know. I got to figure out. You asked a question a while ago. I don't know when the last time Jerry and I worked on Raw together, but it seems like it was around 2008.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time.
So that's damn near. Well, that's 10 years.
Ooh.
Well, the one thing that really
well,
we started this time, and you can get a younger announcers to get scared. Vince is going to be listening. What are we going to do? How's this going to affect our career? Look, Vince knows what he's getting with us, without a doubt. He helped create it. He allowed it to build. He let us sit out there long enough that we got good at our duo. So I think we're going to deliver just fine, and it's certainly going to sound different.
Oh yeah,
It's certainly going to be. And I think it puts the other announcers in a little bit of a tough spot because they're unfairly, I would say, they're going to be compared to us as if they're not already, and that's not really fair because everybody sings a different guitar pick. It's a different deal, man. It's a different sound.
right.
So we're going to. I know one thing. I can't tell you we're going to be great, but I can tell you one. We're going to have fun. We're going to enjoy our time there, and I look at it as a one-off drive-by. With my buddies, and see how everybody's doing. And when you talk around a bunch of wrestlers, fellas, Glenn, you may be learning this now that you're so embedded there with the King.
Oh.
But wrestlers are like talking to fishermen. The first liar ain't got a chance. So no matter if I say to you, Jerry, I caught a 2-pound bass. Well, JR, I tell you, that's a good fish. Let me tell you what I did. 3 pounds, 4 ounces.
Right.
Okay, so you just pissed on my story. Thanks a lot, my fishing story. So the first liar ain't got a chance in these wrestling, conversations. But the stories, I will tell you this: if somebody doesn't have a camera post Raw when that whole assemblage of guys are dismissed, you're going to miss some good TV.
Oh yeah.
In today's reality show world, and they could edit it, massage it, make it different. But there's going to be some. We don't turn it off. We just keep going, and so I'm looking forward to it. I know one thing, Jerry.
Let me ask you this: who are you looking forward most to seeing, other than me, of course? But
Of course.
Looking at some of these names, Eric Bischoff's going to be there.
Yeah.
What about Bruce Pritchard? Brother Love is going to be there.
They got a great campaign to get Bruce voted as the number one most wanted guest on the show. Eddie Conrad, they're about as good at marketing self-promoters as anybody. They remind me of two old school wrestling promoters. Really, it's just amazing how they market and monetize their brand. But Austin, I don't get to see Austin as much as I'd like. We text occasionally, talk on the phone during football season a lot. But looking forward to seeing him take her, And then yesterday my day got brightened when they announced all the divas that were coming back.
Woohoo! Yes, unbelievable. What a list.
Boy, I mean, hey, I'll bet you this, man. They're supposed to be, as far as in television years, past their primes, some would say. I don't agree. But there'll be about as hot a group of women that are allegedly outside their prime that you will ever see. Because they're going to come back, they're all going to be in great shape, they're going to look good, it's going to be pleasant to see them all. And for me now, being a newly minted widower, I'm interested in things like that.
Yes. Glenn is already taking bets on whether or not I will get to utter the phrase, puppies.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Yeah, right.
That dog literally will hunt.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, it is old. I mean, it is Raw 25. That's a catchphrase. I mean,
I know, but you got to realize things. Time has moved on. Like when you talk about that sort of stuff, to me and JR, an all-nighter means you don't have to get up to go pee. So it's a different day,
now,
right, JR?
If he was randomly yelling out nipples instead of puppies, I might be on your side there, on Glenn, on that deal. But I think maybe puppies can get by, depending on. You might not want to do it when there's a one shot of two boobs,
right?
But he's right about the rules move. The rules of today stay in place today, as far as verbiage and golly, maybe we weren't real sensitive back in our day.
No, not at all.
And now you couldn't not be sensitive. You got to be.
And you know what's the amazing thing about that? I mean, everybody talks about how much they love the Attitude Era, which you and I got to agree. It was so much fun, so entertaining, and some of the restrictions and some of the things that you have to be aware of and cognizant of in today's times. It almost hamstrings you, so to speak, from being as entertaining as you could be. And so. But the great thing is, and I get people to tweet me about things every day, all of that stuff that we said that would be so not politically correct today still lives on the WWE Network.
Yeah.
It's so great. I mean, but
and it's still funny.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand how you oh Lord, don't say that on Monday Night Raw or on SmackDown Live, but you can tune into the WWE Network and still hear it and see it.
It's a different vehicle. And it's you got to seek it out. It's not like you can watch it on free TV. I understand I've been in those meetings hour ad nauseum, hour after hour. I understand it. I don't necessarily agree with all of it, but I understand it. And for the fact that every promoter is continually chasing the next dollar, which I wholeheartedly endorse that concept, then heck, man. I get it. If it's going to cost you money to change, that's like doing finishes. I can't understand why you say, well, we didn't want to beat that guy. Well, why did you book it?
Right.
You booked a match where you can't have a winner. Well, we get a DQ, he says sleepishly. Brother, sure we could, brother. And watch my house go to hell next week.
Right.
People want. There are certain things that people need, and I think our line of humor was accepted over the years. It became part of pop culture, and we were just luckier than hell that I told someone this the other day that for a wrestling fan, and Jerry was a wrestling fan long before he started making money, and I was a wrestling fan long before I started making money at it as well. But boy, it's still about that payday and protecting your investments and all those things. And I think that could we work today in our style? Of course we could. Would we be smart enough not to go down a bad road with questionable judgment in our verbiage? Of course we would. We're not two kids here anymore, and we both like to chase the dollar. So why do you think we're out still doing this damn stuff?
Right.
I like it. Well, really, it's simple. I can go to New York anytime, but I enjoy going on Vince's dime. I enjoy working for that company and doing things. I'd like to be doing more, but I was going to say that I don't have any doubts that the King and JR couldn't have a significant run on any show that they want to put on TV. But I don't know. I'm not speaking for Jerry, but I don't know that I'd want a 51-week-a-year gig again.
Oh, I've said the same thing. I really have said the same thing.
Whew, buddy, that's work. I mean, it's real work. And Jerry's much older than I am, and I'm 66. Yeah. but really, I mean, guys our age are supposed to be on the golf course. We're supposed to be living the good life as best as our money was facilitated. But man, I just don't. That TSA thing, I was making a joke about earlier, but God Almighty. I mean, when they pull you out of line and they want to search you, then they want a selfie. Oh. They knew who you were all along.
Of course. And the body cavity search is way out of line, isn't it?
Well,
yeah. Well, it depends on who's doing it, but yes, nonetheless, I'm open-minded to some degree.
Well, it's the same thing people ask me all the time. Why do you still wrestle? Why do you still climb in the ring from time to time? And I say, hey, I will stop the day somebody quits offering me money to do it. I mean, at this point in time, it's easy for me. I've done it so many years. It's second nature, and it's still fun. But the main thing, like you say, it's money. If somebody...
it's cooking. It's what you strive to be able to get to the level of doing your entire professional career. It's everything you wanted when a young wrestler, a new star wrestler, a heel, a babyface turn, all booking, ownership. Everything becomes the same destination. I want to be booked. I want to make money.
Right.
And that's kind of what somebody said. Well, why are you doing that New Japan stuff on Access TV? Well, I get paid well for it.
Sure.
I don't work for New Japan. I work for Access TV.
Right.
I got on my birthday. I'm one guy in this world that can say he's lucky enough to get a congratulatory reach out from two billionaires, Vince and Mark Cuban, and they both. I get checks from both those guys, and guess what? They clear.
Yeah.
They're on time. I love it. So, and so that's why you do that. It's a payday, and Jerry, like you wrestling, I have fun doing it.
Exactly.
And I'm sure we're going to do the same thing, and it's going to be fun because the damn show's going to be second guessed all to hell because they did this at the Barclays Center, and it should have been at where JR and King were. So I don't.
Well, that's part of today's wrestling fans, and it may have been wrestling fans may have always been that way, but just now because of social media, every one of them has a voice that you can hear. Back in the day before social media, I'm sure wrestling fans went home, scratching their heads about what they just saw at a live event and thinking, oh my gosh, this would have been so much better if it happened this way or that way. But they didn't have a way to express their opinion. Now everybody has a voice and it gets heard. The WWE has an entire department that does nothing but tweet and read tweets. And that's it,
I think they should tweet my book more.
I do too.
Can we get a plug?
Are you getting ready to write books? I read that.
You read that I'm getting ready to write another book?
Yeah.
No, it said I'm about to do another book. It's a coloring book, JR. I finished the first one.
See the dirt sheets.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sure that you had a good time writing your book. I did not enjoy writing the book that we did.
Really?
No, I didn't enjoy it at all. And part of it had to do with the guy that they sent. This guy was from England sent over.
That was not a good call.
No.
In hindsight, my guy that I finished my book with is from Ireland, and he was a perfect fit. Oh. I got very, very lucky, very blessed. Paul O'Brien's his name. He's wonderful, and we're going to do a sequel. Because we're on the fourth printing, or getting ready to go on the fourth printing of our book that came out on October the 18th. And so,
and you really didn't even delve into your WWE career yet. In the first one was all about pre-WWE, right?
Well, yeah, I wanted chronologically, I wanted spots I could start and end with in that book, and it started while we were in Philadelphia for Austin and Rock won at WrestleMania, and I came back to the broadcast table that night to do that one match, because I remember tipping my hat to Michael Cole as we passed each other in the aisleway. And but then we closed it there. So that was pretty much the WWE. Some of the WWE stuff, not much, but the real heavy WWE load will come in the sequel, because that's the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, the company going public, XFL.
Oh yeah, that'll be huge.
All that stuff. Yeah, and unfortunately, I'll have to write about my wife's death.
Oh man,
to some degree, I just can't I can't address it. It will be addressed, and how I feel about it. I learned this, buddy. When you're talking about your deceased wife and your audio version of your book, it is challenging, and I ain't bullshitting nobody. It is tough, buddy.
Yeah.
So, but I'm glad I did it, and I've really got some good feedback on the audio version of it. But it's like doing a performance, Jerry. It's not just like sitting down and monotonely reading a book.
Right.
You can't, guys like you and me can't do that. We got to give them something. And that's what I try to do in that read. But it's really real authentic. But you don't think about shit like that.
I don't know, but I don't know about yours. But like, when they sent this guy down here to Memphis, the ghostwriter or whatever you want to call him. But anyway, they send this guy down to Memphis, and a funny thing, I don't know if the name he used on the book was like Ian Rothkirk or something like that, but his real name was, and I don't even remember, but say it was Joe Blow or something. I remember when the book came out, it said, co-written by Ian Rothkirk. So I called the guy up and I said, "What happened? They don't even have your name on the book." And he said, "Oh yeah, I didn't want to use my real name because someday I may want to write a real book."
What?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So anyway, you can tell what our relationship was like writing.
You didn't have a good experience.
No, not at all. I mean, he came down and he just hung around me for like 2 months and rode with me everywhere. And I'm telling him all these stories. And then basically what he did was just go back and apparently sort of type out what I had said on the trips and telling the stories. And then he would send it back to me and I would read it and I go, "Oh my gosh, was I that boring? Was I that unfunny?" And so then I would I would just go back and try to put in a bunch of one-liners and to try to spice it up a little bit. And then that made him mad. And so it just, I didn't have a good time.
It's like, Jerry, it's like some of our relationships have been in our life.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Some good ones, some are not. That's another story for another time. But I will tell you that you have a magnificent story to tell, but you have to be in an environment that you enjoy sharing those stories. And the person listening to you that's going to actually put pencil to paper type thing, they got to be able to ask follow-up questions. I got Scott Williams to do my first go-around of my book. He was an investigative reporter with a law degree who had written Bill Watts and Terry Funk's book. So I thought, this is a perfect guy, investigative reporter. So he comes up. We spend months in a hotel, weekend here, weekend there, here next to my house, near my house. And I was like being deposed. It was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, right.
Really, really, really good. And when I'd answer a question, he would ask a follow-up, like a good reporter or a good lawyer would. And everything we had was recorded. So then he took the tapes back to Houston. I had them transcribed, and so that was the foundation of what we decided to work with. And then Paul came aboard, and Paul's writing skills are so much. Scott died while we were just coming around the home stretch almost, and so I lost him. And then in March, Jan died, and so me and Paul kind of finished the damn thing. Kind of limp to the finish line, as they say. Because, man, I was about ready to hang it up. Said, hell, this book's jinxed. I'm done. I'm done. I didn't have any heart left. So but if you get the right guy, Jerry, your story will be phenomenal. It'll be phenomenal.
Yeah, I got a whole 20 years since I wrote the first one.
Yeah.
Whew.
Well, hey, look, any of that first stuff, you can do some. People are not going to remember verbatim what the first book was. They're just not. And I believe that everything all those guys, you got stories on some of the biggest names and they ain't got all. It's not going to be dirt.
Right.
They would sleep with his wife, and the old Booker trick where you got a talent that's got a hot wife, so you book the talent on the road for 4 or 5 days, so you can go to the talent's house.
Easy now, easy. Where'd you ever hear that story?
Something like that. But I have worked for Bookers that did.
Oh, okay. Good.
But the point is that there's a million stories, but you need somebody that's a good listener and that can ask those follow-ups that you enjoy talking to about it, because your attention span is short.
Yes, it is.
That's why you do any prep work.
Right.
I'd burn your ass out, and I wouldn't go get the best Jerry Lawler, and I needed the best Jerry Lawler to pull me along. So we just stopped preparing there, Glenn. It was all by feel, all of it by feel, and it felt good.
Well, that's the one thing that I talked to Jerry about during the podcast, and we talked about commentary now, and not ripping anybody that's currently doing commentary, but listening to you and the King back in Attitude Era, the one word that comes to mind is passion. And when Triple H is beating a guy with a sledgehammer, and you're calling him SOB and saying he should rot in hell, as a teenager, I'm believing what JR is telling me, that this guy should be rotting in hell for what he has done in the ring. And if that was going down now, that passion that seems to be lost somewhere with the current commentary.
Yeah, well, I was trying to make him a heel. Yeah, right. that was the. If Jerry was a heel, he'd buy me a Diet Coke for putting him over that strong, because I wanted people to hate him. Not to think he was a cool heel, but he was a real piece of shit. So but that's when Bill Watts is that way. His deal all along was call it like it's real, and I don't want these heels that do cute things that you might want to laugh at. Don't. Never laugh at a heel. Okay. Now, I have in the past, don't get me wrong. But,
right.
But, there's certain those cool deals, man. That's like when they do the card. The baby face is always on the left side of the verses. Yeah. That's the way it is. So, but I think your book will be great, and I'm enjoying it. I went to a party on New Year's Eve in Los Angeles. I sound like Larry King here. On my server out. But anyway, this guy's he's a movie producer. He's originally from Oklahoma. He's a big OU fan, and his relative of his is a friend of mine. So the introduction was made. I got him my book. He loves it. So we're looking at doing something with him. Not sure if it's a one-off TV deal, TV movie. A lot of these places are looking for content desperately. Yep. Or if it's going to be a HBO movie or whatever. I have no idea.
All right, here's my question that just popped into my head. Who would you want to play the part of you?
Well, it has to be Brad Pitt, for God's sake.
Of course. Right, of course.
He's a fellow Oklahoman.
There you go.
We went to the Rose Bowl together, except we were in different seats in the 96,000 stadium. I don't know. Hell, I don't know. Some fat guy that can have facial paralysis. There's going to be a little gift to that dialogue. So I don't know, man. The dream comes back to the same thing. Those old bastards are so greedy. No, we've both been broke.
Right.
I don't like it. And going back there, I'm done with broke.
Yeah.
But I am trying to create avenues for the beloved mailbox money.
One of my favorite terms, mailbox money.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what's the old saying?
Anyway, it'll be good. Hey, do you know what you're going to wear Monday night? We should have some kind of, or J.R. King are we going to be dressed in black, or are you going to, what's going to be the attire?
Well,
you have any idea?
Glenn has asked me that, and I have some choices. I don't know what, I've actually gone back the last couple of days and look at some different pictures of you and I doing the commentary, and I don't remember. I think the real old school where I had the jackets with the sort of the medals on them and the epaulets on the shoulders. Did I ever wear that with you and I?
Yep.
I did? Well, then that may be what I go with. I got a red one and I got a black one, and what are you going to wear?
A hat.
Hopefully that's not it.
Oh, no, Glenn, I'm not going to. I don't want to kill the audience, kill the house. they say, I'm gonna wear a dark suit
Okay.
and 2 pair of underwear that'll be dark as well. And because people forget, man.
Yep.
People forget, but Mother Nature doesn't.
Unfortunately, Father Time is not a great beautician, is he?
No. So I'm going to have fun doing it. It'll be a lot of, it'll be good. You know, it'll be interesting to see where all the powers that be are dispatched. Who'll be with us at the Manhattan Center? Who'll be at the Barclay Center? Remember that Barclay Center? I don't know if it's sold out or not. I'm sure that if it is, it's close.
Oh, yeah.
They got to sell that thing out, and so they got to load that up. And the people don't really know what buildings who's going to be in. I would think, as much as I'd love to see Stone Cold at the Manhattan Center, it seems almost as if you need him at the Barclay Center just for that massive pop.
Yeah, the Barclay Center, seats over 20,000 or close to 20,000 people. I think the Manhattan Center, where it all started, maybe is 4,000 or something like that, or 5,000 at the most.
Yeah, I don't think it's even that many, but nonetheless, it's a small venue.
I remember, JR, I remember when we started doing Raw there that we had so many wrestlers and the space was so confined. We would some of us would actually dress in the stairwell. I mean, like in the stair, you'd have like 3 steps that you'd set your bag on, you'd sit on a step and you'd put your stuff on, and 3 steps up from you would be another guy dressing and another guy dressing. There just wasn't enough dressing rooms or anything in that venue.
I remember that. That's why I'll be wearing my black suit and my double pair of black underwear when I get there. I'll be ready to go. I'll be ready to go to work, Jerry. Just let me get in the makeup chair for a couple hours, and should be good. Hey, I'm thinking about. This is a funny deal. It's not that funny. Right. Funny to me, Lo.
I remember telling Vince one time, "This would be funny," and he said, "I'll be the judge of that."
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. I'll be the judge of that, Jerry. Yeah. When he said Jerry, you knew he was serious.
Right. Oh yes.
He said King. Hey, King's here.
He the king. He the king. He would say that every
week.
That's
it. But I almost lost my train of thought. I think I did. What was I talking about?
You had a story for us.
Something that was going to be funny. And I said...
So it was going to be funny. I'm thinking about getting some Just for Men and doing my chin whiskers.
Yes. Do that.
I want to try to get them as dark as Howard Finkel's.
Yeah, it's cool. You know, everybody's going to be trying to look young. You're going to see guys with pierced tongues and dentures. And
pierced tongues? Who's that?
Oh, some of the divas, I'm sure. And then you'll see spiked hair and bald spots. All that kind of stuff is going to be going on there. It's going to be fun.
It will be fun. The selfies will be good. The social media assault will be major league. When are you coming in, Sunday?
No, I get in early Monday morning.
Okay. Well,
and then I'm gonna stay over a couple of days. I'm bringing Lauren with me, and we're gonna stay a day or two in New York.
And go shopping.
Absolutely.
Go shopping.
Yeah. You need to let the girl go shopping.
Oh, don't worry. I can't stop her from going shopping.
Yeah, she's got you by the short hairs, buddy.
Easy now. Well, she is,
Moving on, here I come, baby.
She is 28 years old, and they have a certain...
She's 29 now, right?
Oh, that's right. She just had her birthday. She's 29. Ooh.
Yeah, you can edit that, Glenn. Edit that out of there. He'll get his ass in trouble. You know how old the woman he's sleeping with is.
Yeah, she don't mind being 29. I think it's the 30 that may scare her a little bit. I'm not sure. But that's a whole year away, so...
Yeah. Well, let's don't take nothing for granted or buy green bananas.
Right. She asked me yesterday, she said, let's go upstairs and make love. I said, pick one. I can't do both.
Yeah. I like that. I love that. Well, it'll be a lot of fun, man. I'm looking forward to it, and I just hope that there's no snow and bad weather there, and I'm excited about the opportunity to jump back on the team and see what we can do. Me
too, JR. I'm really looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you never know what comes out of it either, man. That's why, I ain't phoning nothing. And to me, this is like WrestleMania. My ass is coming to get after it. So get ready.
Well, as a fan for both you guys, I hope I know it's gonna be a little lovey-dovey, you guys back in the booth, but I do hope there's a little bit of a King, throwing some shots back at you, JR. That's like the old days.
Yeah, how's the Rose Bowl, JR?
Don't worry. I always had to play devil's advocate just a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about that, Glenn. As he's playing the devil's advocate, it'll be organic. It won't be like he's forcing himself to be a heel.
You're not peeing, are you, JR? I heard running water.
I love it. I love that. And some of those guys, they try too hard to be a heel on TV, and it's not. Sometimes it don't work.
Oh, exactly.
And I've noticed that the bickering of announcers bickering has become really
bad
prominent
and bad.
Don't say. Look, Glenn tries. Glenn said, and bad.
Well, I can have an opinion. I'm not with them.
No,
right.
you can't have an opinion. What's the matter with you? Jeez. Well, JR, listen, we've kept you on here long enough. I am really looking forward to Monday night, Raw's 25th anniversary. And how many years do you have any idea how many years you and I worked together on? Did we ever do? We did everything together. SmackDown, Raw,
pay-per-views. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I remember. It seems like it's you and me and Vince, which is the only 3-man team I really ever enjoyed.
Right. That was fun.
Well, he's right there, and you knew everything he wanted. He wrote the damn stuff. He sat beside you. You got a question during a commercial break, you ask him.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, but I think that soon, around 95 or 96, it seems like Vince started migrating away from that, and you and I did it.
Yep.
And then I know that then around 97, when the Montreal thing happened, he was on his way to becoming the heel.
Mm-hmm.
And he don't get enough credit, Jerry, for being the heel that he was with the experience level that he had in that role.
Oh, exactly.
And how important it was for the Attitude Era to be successful because Austin needed that.
Yep. We did an entire podcast, one episode about the fact that I sort of like to claim responsibility of him jumping into that heel role because the first place he ever did it was he came down to Memphis and actually got involved in one of my matches. Sent down Bret Hart. I was working against Bret Hart, and Vince came down as the in Memphis we had this long running feud with the WWE at the time, and like they were trying to put us out of business, and then Vince agreed to come down and actually be in Bret's corner. He tripped me as I was running around the ring. Had Pat Patterson there as his bodyguard, and that was like one of the first time that he ever did anything out in front of the crowd as being a heel. And then
he loved it.
Yeah, he did. He fell in love with it.
Well, hey, he's a kid who loved the business like everybody else, Jerry. That's what we find in our journey. Vince no different. He just became really good at being a fan and changed the business. So I'm all for what they're doing. And God Almighty, they had so many people under contract. The talent relations department is massive.
Yeah.
When I was running that department, and I'm not saying that it can't be that way again, but there's too many people under contract. But boy, they got a huge talent roster. They announced some signings again this week, so they have I love the concept of mixed tag. I think they could do a tag team show. I think they could do a UK show. They got endless things that they could do to add the original programming, which is what they seek for the network. So they're setting themselves up really, really good from a talent standpoint, I think.
Well, JR, I'll say it again. We'll let you off here. We've kept you a long time,
man.
and I really, really appreciate you coming on. And we will see you in New York next Monday.
I'm going to go out the mailbox and see if there's anything there for me.
Well, I and this is honest to goodness truth. I went out to the mailbox today, and there was something there for me. So maybe the same will go for you.
I think you're probably right.
Yep. JR,
Okay,
thanks, JR. We'll see you Monday.
Thanks, JR.
Okay, bud. Thanks.
You know what, Jerry? As a fan of both you and JR, it's an honor and a privilege to have both you guys on the same show that I'm a part of.
Yeah, well, a little bit of phone problems, but that's to be expected. I don't know if was JR's phone or.
Well, it's not like JR was.
Or it may be
in the
my
bathroom.
It may be my. It might be my internet. Well, you know what? That's the great thing about JR. I mean, he likes to surprise you.
Yeah.
And remember the old what was it? Naked Gun movies.
Oh yeah.
When Lieutenant Drebin went into the bathroom and his microphone was still on.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of thing JR would pull just when he's on somebody's podcast. I wish I thought of that.
But JR was great. Looking forward to seeing both of you on Raw 25, and also all the other wrestlers and talents are going to be there, from Stone Cold, The Undertaker, to the Bella Twins, to Kelly Kelly. Remember her?
Kelly, yes.
She's going to be there. So
Eric Bischoff, Scott Hall,
Bruce Pritchard, like we said.
Ric Flair.
It's going to be great.
Chris Jericho, JBL and Ron Simmons, and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. Ooh. APA.
And that's not all. Yeah, there's going to be a lot
Always pounding ass.
What?
APA. Always pounding it. There's actually a T-shirt. A WWE.
That's not what that meant.
No, I know, but I'm saying there was a T-shirt made.
What did APA stand for? Do you know?
Acolyte Protection Agency.
Protection Agency.
But there was a T-shirt that said APA, always pounding ass. Would you wear that?
No, I wouldn't wear that, and you can't say that on my podcast, I don't think.
Oh, JR was swearing all the time during the podcast interview.
Okay. Yeah, it was good.
But no, but it was great to have JR on finally on the podcast. I know you were on his podcast like 2 months ago.
Yep.
And you guys will be together for a while. So what are you going to wear? Do you know?
I think I'll pull out the black jacket with the epaulets.
What about the red? The red with the gold?
Oh, well, either one. But he said he's wearing a dark suit.
Yes,
but he always wore a dark suit. So.
Yeah, it was great. There was one question I forgot to ask him.
What? Maybe I can answer.
Okay. Oh, okay. Maybe you'll know. So on our social media, Dinner with King on Twitter, I posted a video. One of my favorite moments is when JR is he's talking to the police, and he gets asked about you. Oh,
wait a minute. So you originally posted that?
Yeah.
Where did you find it?
YouTube.
Is that all you do, Glenn? Spend all day?
I do research
YouTube
for the topic for the show and their guests.
Well, how would that be a topic for the show?
You type in Jerry Lawler, Jim Ross, it pops up.
That pops up. Him calling me an ass.
Yes.
In case you don't know what we're talking about, if you go on Twitter.
I'll play the clip right now.
Glenn obviously tweeted. You're going to play it right now?
I'll play it right
Glenn
now.
Glenn tweeted this clip of something, and that actually aired on Raw?
SmackDown.
Oh, SmackDown. Okay, play it.
Yes, I understand this is a very important investigation, but I'm suggesting to you that if you have more questions, that you contact my attorney, Jerry Lawler. Let me tell you about Jerry Lawler, officer. Jerry Lawler is a first-class, restaurant-quality ass. That's ass with 2 S's. Well, thank you for your time. Goodbye.
What did he say?
So my question is, was for JR, that I didn't get a chance to ask him. What is a first-class restaurant quality ass?
Restaurant quality.
What is that?
I don't know. Could you not see? You heard my reaction.
What? What did he say?
What did he say? I don't know what restaurant. Well, I know what my opinion of restaurant quality would be, but I don't know. You know, JR. A lot of times, his analogies would involve food.
Yeah.
You know, tougher than a $2 steak, restaurant quality keister or whatever he said. You know, I mean, so maybe that was just his way of. I don't know.
Jerry Lawler. Let me tell you about Jerry Lawler. No, that was great. So, are you looking, before we wrap it up, how excited are you for Raw 25?
Oh my gosh, I can't tell you. Not just to sit down and do the commentary again with JR, but man, all of those guys from the past being back under the same roof. It's going to be an unbelievable night. They've done anniversary shows in the past, but never anything of this magnitude. I can't remember.
At the Barclays Center, they're actually going to have an old school Raw stage. I'm not sure which era they're going to have, but it's not going to be the newer one. It's going to be one of the older ones.
Yeah.
My favorite is just the old big Titantron and coming out through the curtain, which was the Attitude Era. But Manhattan Center, that's a smaller venue, so I'm not sure what they're going to do. Probably just have RAW like they had before and have them walk out through the A or whatever. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to watching you and JR do your thing on Monday. I know you're.
That's
excited.
A lot of pressure.
How is it pressure?
What do you mean? How's it pressure?
But you
almost heard what JR said.
You have 1,000 episodes almost.
I know,
under your
but
belt.
I mean, but you know, it's always
It's like a tryout again, maybe.
no, I'm not looking at it like that at all. It's always like the older they are, the better they were.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think a lot of people, as the days have gone by, a lot of people remember us so fondly. I told you, I get asked or said it to me 1,000 times. You and JR were the voice of my childhood. Mm-hmm. But now, all of a sudden, it's almost like sometimes, have you ever idolized somebody or been a big fan of somebody and then actually got to meet them in person?
I'm sitting next to him.
Well, yeah, and then we're disappointed.
I'm sitting next to him.
There you go. Okay, see,
I'm kidding.
that's what I mean. And that can happen. I mean, it's happened to me before.
Yeah.
And so, I hope it doesn't. I hope that doesn't happen where the people go, "Oh, I don't remember. They're not as good as I remember them being."
Right. I don't mean to take pull back the curtain that much on the podcast, but I really hope you are not lovey-dovey Jerry Lawler.
I'm not going to be.
No.
Not going to be. No.
So you're going to be.
I'm going to be the Jerry Lawler from 25 years ago on Raw.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more PG.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which eliminates any kind of joke.
No, you heard what JR said. He thinks I could say puppies.
If you drop a puppies line, I will do a snow angel naked in the snow.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, up in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm kidding.
Now our Browns coach said that he was going to jump in Lake Erie if they lost all the games.
No, if they won a game.
Oh, if they won a game.
Yeah.
No wonder he didn't want to win.
Because after they won in 15, he promises they'll not do 1 in 15 again. That if they do a 1 in 15, he'll jump in Lake Erie. So it was worse.
Oh,
so
yeah, he should have had to jump in Lake Erie wearing a bracelet or handcuffs around his ankle.
Wow,
attached to a cinder block.
Oh my God, he would die.
No, he doesn't need to die. But
unbelievable.
He doesn't need to be the coach there anymore. I don't think.
No. Well, King,
what about our Tennessee Titans here? I mean, the guys got them on the upswing. They make the playoffs, and they lose the playoff game, and he gets fired.
Yeah, he might be going to Cleveland.
What?
As the offensive coordinator, yeah. Malarkey, yeah.
Oh. How come he couldn't go as the head coach?
Well, that's a whole different subject.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Yeah, he has one more. Hugh Jackson, I think, has one more year, maybe less, to get the thing turned around. So we'll see. King, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you for a couple of weeks here.
Ooh.
We play a lot of pinball games.
Yep. You know what they say? Always keep this in mind.
What?
Fish and company stink after 3 days.
Oh, that's true.
So try not to stay longer than 3 days anytime you go visit
Well,
anybody.
It's been 3 days times 5.
Yes.
For my stay here. I've been bothering it too much. I'm going to head back to Cleveland. We'll be back next week, the whole episode. We're going to recap Jerry's time in New York for Raw 25.
Yes.
We'll continue our old school month of January. And we talked about Terry Funk a little bit. He might be calling in sooner than you think, Jerry Lawler.
Really? What is it? Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler.
I love talking to Terry Funk.
Jerry Lawler. So he might be calling in very shortly, maybe next week.
Really?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. But we'll talk to everybody next week. Anything you want to say to wrap the show up, Jerry?
Just goodbye. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
The preceding show is a Pod Avenue production.